What's up guys, it's the Couch Bear here, bringing you another video. Today we're going to be talking about Modern Warfare 2, but not the classic from 2009, or even the 2020 campaign remaster. No, we're talking about the new, upcoming Modern Warfare 2, sequel to Modern Warfare 2019, the best-selling Call of Duty game of all time, according to Activision. And with that being the case, a sequel was inevitable. But that's not a problem for me. As a fan of the original Modern Warfare trilogy, I'm excited to see what they are doing with this rebooted universe. But like I said, we will be talking about Modern Warfare 2. I would like to talk specifically about my hopes and wants for this game. What things I want to see return from MW 2019. What things from MW 2019 I want them to leave out. And what things from other COD games I want them to add in. But first, I'd like to remind you guys about my partners over at Wraith. Wraith is a powdered energy formula to help keep you alert and focused on the task at hand, whether that be dropping into the war zone, battling alien combatants to save the universe from the forces of darkness, adventuring in a distant fantasy realm, or battling it out in a race to finish and claim your crown. Wraith is a sugar-free energy drink that's full of flavour and has 20 different options to choose from, so there's something everyone would like. If it sounds like something you'd enjoy, head over to drinkwraith.com and use the code CouchBear at checkout for 10% off your order. Now let's get into the video, starting with... So let's start off by saying the original Modern Warfare 2 campaign is my favourite Call of Duty campaign ever, followed by MWII, then MW 2019. So this game has a lot to live up to. Now, I don't want it to be a separate story, only tied to MW 2019 because it has the same characters. I want it to be a continuation, not direct pick up where things left off continuation, but see that the events of Modern Warfare 2019 are the reasons for what's happening in this new campaign. I'd also like to know what is happening with some of the characters from 2019, like Farah. Is her militia still fighting against Russia and Urzikstan? What's Al-Qatala doing now Khalid al-Assad's in charge? Is Alex still fighting with Farah's militia, or is he back with the CIA? Is he part of Task Force 141? These are questions I've had since the end of MW 2019's story that unfolded throughout the campaign, the year of seasons, and the Spec Ops. Now, I don't actually think all of these questions will get answered, but with the rumours that Al-Qatala will be in the campaign, I think at the very least we can find out what Al-Assad is doing. Speaking of Al-Assad, I think it would be great to introduce other characters from the original Modern Warfare trilogy. With this game being called Modern Warfare 2, the ones I think we're most likely to see are Vladimir Makarov and General Shepard. Whether they both come back as villains is unlikely. I think people would expect Shepard to be a villain too much. Other characters I think would be fun to include would be Roach from MW2 or even Yuri from MW3, but I think those are just wishful thinking. Now, the final thing on my wish list for the campaign is more missions like Clean House. Don't get me wrong, I love the over-the-top bombastic set pieces Call of Duty campaigns are known for, escorting a tank from point A to point B, gunning down dozens of enemy combatants, but something about the tactical slowing down of the action, the methodical clearing of rooms, gunfights in tight, claustrophobic spaces was amazing. And those few sequences turned out to be my favourite parts of the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign, and I would love for more of that. Now, I'm not saying every mission needs to be like that, but where Modern Warfare 2019 had one full mission and then a small sequence at the start of another, I'd like 2 full missions, Clean House length, and 1 or 2 smaller sequences. But maybe that's just me. Did you like the Clean House mission, or did you find it at the bottom of your list? Who are you hoping to see back in the new campaign, if anyone at all? Or are you just hoping for a whole new storyline? Now, on to the next choice of topic, which is... So, I'm just going to come out and say it. Everyone knows that MW 2019 Spec Ops was a mess. The actual special operations were a good idea, and I see what Infinity Ward was trying to do by tying it into the story and continuing where the campaign left off, but it was broken. My experience was constant crashes, poor AI in ridiculous amounts, and missions that took too long for how little there actually was to do in them. And the classic missions just didn't hold up to what they were supposed to be. They didn't feel classic. They felt like an afterthought tacked on to try and appease fans of the true classic Spec Ops. And the final nail in the coffin, for me, was locking an entire mode behind exclusivity. I played Survival on PlayStation, and it was fun, but most of my friends played on Xbox, so I just stopped playing it even though I enjoyed it, because I didn't want to play with randoms when I could play multiplayer with my friends. Spec Ops had so much potential that Infinity Ward just couldn't deliver on. So what I want from Spec Ops and Modern Warfare 2 is a mode that isn't just an afterthought, something that runs well and is enjoyable to play alone or with friends. Now, Spec Ops has been confirmed, but what it'll be like, we don't know. But with the rumours that it'll be DMZ, a Call of Duty take on the escape genre of games like Escape from Tarkov and Hunt Showdown, my interest has peaked. The leaks and rumours I've seen online suggest that at one point, 4 different maps were in development for DMZ, and another rumour now says it's going to use the same map as Warzone 2. It's also rumoured that it will be available in solos, duos, trios and quads, just like Warzone. Drop in, loot up, complete objectives, fight against AI and other players, extract if you survive. There's even a rumour that an in-game marketplace for selling and trading items for in-game currency. If this rumour ends up being true, I highly doubt it'll be for COD points, as that would definitely be pay to win. And that seems to be something Activision is trying to avoid in recent years. But if DMZ is indeed Call of Duty's take on the extraction genre, then I'm fully on board with it, and look forward to trying it out. Now, on to the meat and potatoes of today's video. This is the part of Call of Duty I look forward to the most each year. Now, I do enjoy Warzone, and recently I have been playing it more than multiplayer, but I'm still very excited for Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, more excited than I am for Warzone 2. And I did enjoy Cold War and Vanguard, but Modern Warfare 2019 is the best COD multiplayer we've had in recent years. It wasn't perfect though, and it did have some big flaws. So, what would I like to see in Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer to elevate it above 2019's offering? First, let's talk about features from MWII 2019 I'd like to see return. Obviously, the big one, Gunsmith. Out of all of the innovations developers have made to Call of Duty over the years, I would say Gunsmith is the biggest and best one so far. That's why it's here on this list. The ability to use conversion kits on ammo to make multiple different weapons out of just one base weapon was amazing. Developers didn't need to add 50 weapons to the game. You could just convert one into 3 or 4 different types. Now luckily, Gunsmith is returning, and according to some big content creators that got to see the game early, it's got some changes. They said that Gunsmith is now split into 2 sections when it comes to kitting out your weapons. Section 1, called Attachments, has muzzle, underbarrel, laser, ammunition, optic, and rear grip. They said that at the time you got to pick 3 of these, but apparently that could change. We'll have to wait and see. Section 2 was called Weapon Parts, these being barrel, magazine, receiver, and stock. They said it was unclear, but it appeared like you got to pick one from all of these. Hopefully there will be a restriction on the amount of attachments you can have, as I feel being able to take one thing from every slot makes it too easy to build the perfect gun for the map and mode you're playing. It takes away from the thought you needed when building a gun and creating a class in the past. The second new change I've heard about for Gunsmith is attachment tuning. This appears to let you change the properties of an attachment to fit your needs and playstyle. The example I saw online was a barrel being tuned to have better recoil control but a slower aim down sight speed, and vice versa. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about these changes. Whilst they don't seem too bad, I feel it may be overcomplicating the feature for the sake of just trying to change it, but we will just have to wait till we get our hands on it ourselves, hopefully in the beta. The next thing I'd like to see return from MWII 2019 is the game mode Ground War. I loved this mode, for a multitude of reasons. But the main one is that, even though I've been playing Call of Duty for over a decade at this point, the first online FPS game I played properly was Battlefield Bad Company, and I have played every Battlefield game since. I enjoy the large-scale online combat. In Ground War, it gives me that same feeling. And yes, Cold War had combined arms, and Vanguard had the blitz pacing, but neither hit the spot the same as Ground War, and I can't explain why. It just wasn't the same. Whilst Ground War was probably my most played mode in MWII 2019, it wasn't all good. Some of the maps had a poor design that basically turned into a tug of war with minimal chances to flank around to another point. And the nuke for holding all the flags, I wasn't a fan of that. I get why it was done. If your team was getting stomped, it would end the game and get you out of there early. But on the flip side, if you were on the team doing the stomping and you personally are having a very good game, it's frustrating to have it end early. From what I have seen online, Ground War is returning, or at least I think it is. Maps called battle maps have been found in the Warzone mobile files tied to Modern Warfare 2, and they are said to be sections of the Warzone 2 map turned into large multiplayer maps. That sounds like it could be Ground War, but we will have to wait for more information, hopefully at Call of Duty next. Now, the final thing I would like to see return is just a small feature, but it's one that I was a big fan of, and that's missions. Now, if you don't know what these are, they're just small, multi-stage challenges with emblems, calling cards, XP tokens, operator skins, and blueprints as rewards. Now, I will say, I didn't finish all of them, but they are a nice feature to have to fall back on as a mini grind if you get burnt out grinding for camos or levels. Now let's talk about things I don't want to come back from MWII 2019, starting with Ghost, the shitty version of the perk, not the operator. To clarify, I want the Ghost perk back, just not how it was in MWII 2019. By using that version of the perk, you didn't need to be moving to stay hidden from the UAV, and this just promoted a camping mentality. I hope if Ghost is in this game, they do not make the same mistake again. That leads into the next one, the minimap. From having no minimap at launch to then having one but gunshots don't show up on it at all, it was a big issue for a lot of people at the launch of MWII 2019, and honestly, I can't see Infinity Ward messing it up this time round. The last thing I don't want to see return is dead silence as a field upgrade. It was most likely done this way to stop it from being an overpowered perk in Warzone, but Warzone 2 is rumoured to be a separate application from Modern Warfare 2, so it should be possible to have dead silence as a perk in multiplayer and a field upgrade in Warzone 2, but I'm not a game dev, so I don't know. Only time will tell. The final topic I want to talk about today is things that were not in MWII 2019 that I would like to see featured in Modern Warfare 2. To start with, map voting. Map voting is a no-brainer because it filters out the really bad maps that nobody likes. I mean, I get that developers are proud of the maps they have created and they want to show them off, but seriously, did anybody actually enjoy Arklov Peak? And yes, with map voting, there may be a map you like, but the majority don't, so you don't get to play it often. But in the long run, you'll play more good maps than bad maps. And finally, operator levels and favourite weapons. I enjoyed these features in Vanguard very much, as it gave me another small thing to grind for, and the favourite weapon giving you XP for the operator and the gun, if you use both, was very nice. And the fact you got new executions and skins for leveling up the operator made it feel like it was a worthwhile grind, not just a grind for a higher number. Whilst all the skins didn't look amazing, it was nice to be able to show off that you would put the time in to level up all your operators in that task force. And with Modern Warfare 2019 having different sub-factions like SAS or Shadow Company, if those return in Modern Warfare 2, they could still do the top tier skin for leveling up all operators in that specific sub-faction. Now, this obviously isn't the full list of things I want to see in the game. There is so much more that goes into making a good Call of Duty game, but these specific features were the big ones I wanted to talk about. Anyway, that's all we have for today. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see featured in Modern Warfare 2. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more of my content, feel free to subscribe and ding the bell to stay up to date. I'll catch you in the next one. Laters.